Today I'm going to show you how to take a swing handle and create a closed base for a basket. This is the first in a three-part series where we are going to be weaving a market basket with a closed base, incorporating a swing handle. If you're using the Textile Indie kit, you can follow along. You'll have all the materials you need to complete this basket. Hey there, my name is Brittany. I'm a basket weaver and fiber artist, and here on Basket Weaving with Textile Indie, I share basketry tutorials. Be sure to sign up for my email update list for more basket weaving information and inspiration. You can find the link in the description below. To start out in this basket, you're going to need to pre-cut your stakes. We have an instruction manual that goes along with this basket. You can find the link to purchase that in the description below. It has the pattern and a walkthrough of the different steps. You'll want to use that if you want to follow along with this project, or just follow along with the techniques using your own measurements. The first step in a basket is always to cut your stakes and mark the centers. Go ahead and do that. You'll want to measure each of those out, put a center mark on for reference, and then set those aside so that they're ready to start your basket. To create our closed base pattern, we're going to be working with 3 separate sets or lengths of stakes. So go ahead and have those set aside. You should have already cut and marked the centers. The first set we're going to be working with is your medium length stakes. So you have a long set, a short set, and then something in between. So grab those mid-length stakes, go ahead and get them wet in your water, tap off the excess, and you'll want your swing handle handy as well because we're going to be incorporating that right away. So come in and lay out half of your stakes parallel to each other, lining up the center mark, that little notch mark that you made on the table. And utilize your spoke weight here as you work so that you can keep these from flopping around. Now I'm laying out half, then I'm going to set my handle on here. So this handle is going to sit positioned right here. So I'll set my spoke weight on top like so, and then lay the other half to the other side of the handle, trying again to match up those center marks. So here's my first set of stakes laid out and ready to go. Now we're going to incorporate the stakes going in the other direction. And because we're doing a closed base, we're going to be weaving in a long stake and a filler stake. So start by grabbing one of your longest stakes, and we're going to begin weaving this down the center of these initial stakes that we laid out so that we line this up with the center marks. And you want to start this as an over on one of the ends. This will ensure that our filler stakes are positioned the way we want them. So start over and then go under, over, under, over. We're going to go under the handle. We treat the handle as if it were a stake. Then we go over, under, over, under, and over. So you can see it slid all the way, and on this end it's on an over as well. So I'm going to pull this through until I find this center mark, and this center mark I want positioned right under the handle in the middle of the handle. So slide that to that point and then wiggle it around and adjust your stakes until the pencil mark is lined up with the center of the stake. And here the spacing that you want is about a finger width between the stakes. So if you bring your finger in between each of these, this is about how wide you want to start out with. Now grab your filler stakes or your short set of stakes. Go ahead and get these wet, and you can leave them in your water bin while we're working just to keep them out of your way. And we're going to put a filler stake on either side of this long stake. So start out on the side closest to you. Make sure your center mark is facing up. We're going to go under the first stake and then over, under, over, under. Now over the handle and then under the next stake, over, under, and under. Ensuring we're doing the opposite of the first stake. Now this stake we want to come in and smash this up or press this up, pack it nice and close to that first stake so we don't have any gaps, like so. And now with a little bit of tension that we created having those 2 stakes next to each other, you can come in and adjust these parallels or perpendicular stakes so that they are evenly spaced and you have that finger's width in between. You can eyeball this, just kind of generally space them out. Now I'm going to slide the spoke weight to this side, and I'm going to put a filler stake on the far side of the long stake. So grab another filler stake, and again, we're going to go under, over, under, over, under, over the handle, under, over, under, over, under. And then match the center mark with the center of the handle and pull this in up against that last stake so that we're sandwiching these close together. Now we're going to weave in this opposite pattern, alternating between a long stake and a short stake up to the upper part of the basket, and then over here we'll do the same thing. So we're doing it to either side of that center space on the basket. And you may need to adjust the handle since we didn't put a center mark on the handle. It's not particularly centered right now. So I'm going to go to a long stake and weave that over, under, over, under, over. And now I'm going to focus on weaving on one side of the handle, doing half of my stakes on this side of the handle. Go to a filler stake, and now a long stake, and now a filler stake. And from the center point on the handle, you want 4 long stakes, not counting that center long stake. So you're going to do 4 to each side of that center. So this is my center long stake. I have 2 so far. I need to have a total of 4 on this side of the handle. And now a filler stake. And I have 1 more stake to do here. So I'm going to go over, under the handle, continue the pattern across, sliding this through, get that center mark matched up. And now here I am going to make some adjustments. So the edge of this stake right here should meet the edge of the handle, which means I can now press these guys in a little bit or press the handle over a little bit, like so, so that that edge of the handle meets the edge of the stake. Now I'm going to move my spoke weight out of the way and work on this side. So I have this filler stake here. Now I'm going to grab a long stake, pack this in nice and close, and now a filler stake. And we're going to continue this pattern until we've done this all the way across to this other side of the handle. When all of your stakes for the base are woven in place, it'll look something like this. You'll have your long stakes to the outside so that they're lined up with the edge of the handle, alternating with a short filler stake. These short little ends are sticking out so that we can do chicken feet. So you'll see those on both sides. And you have your spacing about a finger's width around your basket. Now go ahead and true your base. If you're following along with the instruction manual, you'll want to reference that for the base dimensions, or line it up so that you have at least 1.5 inches on each end of your filler stake. Once your base is woven and trued up, you're ready to do the chicken feet. I shared a tutorial on how to do chicken feet in this video. It's timestamped, so you can check that out on how to do this step. You'll finish off both sides of the filler stakes in chicken feet before we move on. Now that you have the chicken feet in place, you're going to come around and upset all of your stakes by putting your hand on top of the stakes and gently folding them so that there's a crease right along the edge of the basket. This will help them to stand up as we begin to weave the walls. You want to make sure that your stakes are nice and damp as you do this so that they don't crack or break. If they do break off, you'll just need to replace the stake, and that can be a little frustrating. So try to work slowly, listening for cracking. A little bit of cracking is okay. And you will upset all of the stakes all the way around your basket. Like this video and subscribe to my channel for more basket weaving content. And until video 2 in the series, check out this video. See you next time. Happy weaving. Bye.